Today we're going to talk about how to mount a Sony Blogger camera, this little guy, onto a Cub airplane. We've got the lens here that's multi-angle, but I don't want to just strap it on there because I'm afraid it might get damaged. So we're going to take some 1/4-inch foam board and make a mount that this slides in that will kind of protect the camera, as well as make it secure onto the airplane, but make it simple enough that we can take these rubber bands and strap on there just to attach it to the airplane. So what I want to do first is take a contour gauge. You can find these at your local hardware store, and find the contour of this wing and make the mount match the contour for it so it fits secure, and then make a mount that goes on top of that that's easily removable. So we're going to make it out of styrofoam boards you can get at your local Dollar General store, and it's economical, it's cheap, and it's very lightweight. Whatever you add to the airplane, you want to make sure you keep it in the center of gravity of the airplane. So like this one, the center of gravity is when the airplane is centered up and the weight is on that center, so it'll fly straight and level. If you have it too far to the back, it's going to want to nose up. If you have it too far to the front, it's going to want to nose down like this. So you want to find the center of gravity of whatever airplane that you're going to put it on, and then I'm going to try to make a universal mount that will add, so you can put it on the bottom or the top or the side, and then we'll go from there. So the material we're using is the foam board. You can see it comes in black or white. It's very lightweight, it's very strong. We're going to be using a hot glue gun to glue it, an X-Acto knife or a razor blade knife to cut out the shapes that we want, and then we'll attach it to the plane. First thing we want to do is find the contour of this wing for where the camera is going to be sitting. So right in here is where we want the camera, so that's the contour. So you take this gauge and you kind of push it down onto the wing, and you may want to protect that with something because it will cut into your wing if you push it too. I'm going to go ahead and give it some rough shape so it's not having so much pressure to push it down. Now what we're looking for is the exact angle of that wing. So as you push this down, these little needles will slide through, and then what you have left is the contour of the wing. And so what we'll do is we'll take this shape, we'll lay it on the foam board, we'll trace the top of that. That'll give us the exact shape of the bottom edge of this foam board to fit down on the wing, so that it fits snugly and it doesn't rattle around during flight. Okay, so we'll lay this contour gauge on there, and you can either trace the top this way, or you can lay it over this way and trace the bottom. We'll do the top here because we don't know how high we want it or how long we want it, so we'll center it up over here, leave enough length that we can go from the front of the wing to the back of the wing and adjust the shape later. So we'll start here, and then we'll take the pencil and we'll just trace right around the edge of this shape here, and we'll continue that straight because we don't want to lose that contour, and the wing kind of continues the same shape in the front. So we'll use that as our pattern, and then we'll cut that out and test it on the wing, make sure that that's going to fit, and once we get that pattern, we'll make a pattern so that we can repeat that process in case it gets damaged in a crash. Okay, so here we are again with the Super Cub. We're attempting to build a camera mount for this Sony Blogger. Shoots in full 1080 HD. And what I want to do is make one that will mount to the top, so to play with the center of gravity and to see exactly where the camera needs to mount. We've made this deck that'll fit up here. The camera will go right along in here. Now this will be trimmed back once we get it in the spot that we need it. And then this lens here is able to tilt down, so we can look down and see the prop, or we can tilt it straight up, and there's a little notch that locks it straight. So I'd like to look straight forward in that notch. You can tilt it up. You can slide it down. This lens makes a good video camera because it actually can go many different angles. You can mount it on the side, you could look sideways, you could do this. So this one here would be just for the forward mount. So this is the first prototype. This is going to be trimmed down and made smaller, trying to get the angle and the contour and the center of gravity. The biggest thing is it has to be center of gravity mounted, because if not, it's going to make the plane tail heavy or nose heavy. If it's nose heavy, it'll want to fly down. If it's tail heavy, it'll want to rise up. So we have to have whatever weight we add here on the center of gravity line so that the plane still flies true. And then the weight needs to be centered so it stays in a straight line and doesn't want to yaw to the left or to the right. So this is the first part. This is the prototype. We'll make some modifications of this and try to make it more aerodynamic and trim it down closer to the wing. And again, this is the foam board. You can find it at the Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, $1 for a board, and then you trim it with a razor knife and glue it together with a hot glue gun. And you want to use strong glue and a heavy duty glue gun so that it melts the glue and it stays hot long enough to get the pieces together. If you use one of the light ones, it won't last long enough. It'll get hard before you actually are able to join your pieces together. Okay, so we're back again. Made a few more modifications to the Sony Blogger mount for the Super Cub. You can see here I've trimmed down the back side, made it a little more aerodynamic. I'm trying to keep it as low as possible with a low profile so I don't take any air away from the rudder as it flows across the top of the wing, but it should stop right against the back of here, so that'll keep it from shifting. We're going to make it where it just adds right to the top of the rubber bands, and then we'll put extra rubber bands over the top. Now, so that you can do it with different cameras, what I'm going to do is put Velcro down here on the deck. Then we'll mount this camera in here. This will be trimmed back, but then we'll make modifications where you can slide it with the Velcro and just stick it down, and then put another rubber band across the top to hold the whole thing on. But again, just a little more modification here to get it fit a little closer down to the contour of the wing. And then, of course, we're going to take some of this away in the front, and then I'll make these patterns changed. Okay, so we're back again with the mounting a Sony Blogger camera to the top of the Super Cub. Making a mount so it's easy to put it on and take it off without disturbing any of the wing or having to take anything apart. So this is what we've come up with. I've trimmed it down a little bit, put some Velcro here. This Velcro, you can buy a pack of this Velcro for just $1 or so at the Dollar Tree or Family Dollar. I've played with the center of gravity, tried to keep it the same. What I want to do is put this camera right up next to the front and line up the Velcro so that this lens is hanging just over the front. Kind of center it up, and you can see here that the lens, the picture, you can see here that the screen will show you from the top what the lens is seeing from the front. And the way this thing will mount on is, of course, we'll take this hand lanyard off of there, but we'll set this thing right on here just like this, and it'll sit there. Hopefully it won't disturb too much airflow from the prop onto the rudder. And then we'll secure this with an extra set of rubber bands that run across the top of this. Now, if you'd like, you could put some more protection on here over the camera, but for right now, we're just going to leave it just like this, and then we can tilt this lens down to look down at what the prop sees. And you can see here that you can see just the nose of the camera in there, of the plane. You can see here that you can see just the nose of the plane in there. You can tilt it up. You can actually tilt it further up so you don't have the prop in there and you're looking at the sky. And later on we'll make a belly mount so we can mount it at the bottom and look forward, seeing just the bottom of the prop, maybe the landing gear and the ground. And then at that point we'll be able to tilt this lens straight down so that whatever we're flying over, we have a top view from the top. Thanks for watching.